Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk on things like love, spirituality, law of attraction, all of that juicy goodness. We are here for our energy reading for the week, the first week of June. We are moving along. I got the Chariot card yesterday in one of my readings, and that also means there's might be travel, there might be movement, somebody moving towards you coming into balance and finding more movement in your life. It's almost like the wheel card. Like when everything clicks into place, the wheel can then start to turn. So it seems like people are having these awakenings and all of a sudden they're seeing which way to go and then they're going in that direction. And there is a full moon today. It is June 3rd. So I believe it's June 3rd or 4th. So there's high energy today, great manifestation energy. So let's see what the universe has for us today. And it's so beautiful here in New Jersey. I think it's going to be in like mid 70s all day. I just went for my morning drive and it was gorgeous. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my reading outside. So let's start with my older deck, the very first deck I ever created. It's called the Ever Unfolding Heart in memory of my daughter. She sends me hearts wherever I go. And I also brought out my charms. I haven't done my charms in a really long time, so we're going to see what charms come out today. All right, Spirit, I already called in Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron. I opened Sacred Space earlier with my Palo Santo. Okay, we have a ton of cards here. I'm only going to take the top one. So we have, actually, nope, they just said take all of them. All right, they're very bossy this morning. I guess Michelle's not driving the car. So we have Turtle, Healing, Your Dream Job is on the way, Dolphin, and A Miracle is on the way. Okay, so the Turtle says, what is under your shell? What experiences have you had that can help others who might be suffering? It's time to share your wisdom. And then healing is needed now. Universe, what do I need to heal? Show me, guide me, help me see. And I feel like maybe they wanted me to talk about this card because I just went to a healing session yesterday with my mentor, and she does something called BEST. It's bioenergetic synchronization technique. And you lay on a massage table and you think of, for about 30 seconds, you think of a trauma that happened to you and you don't have to share it with her. And she's holding my ankles and she gets messages from my guides and angels about what kind of treatment I need and where it is in the body. So then she'll give me a number and she'll give me a keyword to focus on, and then she'll move to my head and she'll hold pressure points behind my head, whether it's underneath my ears or the back of my head or my temples. And she'll be sitting behind me on the table and I'll have to breathe out, hold empty. And then I'll have to say, like maybe like yesterday it was 5 and dependable. Those were the two things I had to focus on for about 2 minutes straight. And I had to hold my breath as long as I could. And as we're doing that, and I just was burping, so I'm moving energy too right now as I'm talking about it. The energy moves through your body as she's holding pressure points, and your mind is only focused on the number and the word. So it takes you out of the trauma, and then it lets your guides and angels and the universe's energy to go move that trauma out of your nervous system. And it is so wild, you guys. We'll do it for about 2 minutes. And then she'll come and she'll say, okay, head up, head down, squeeze fists, open up. And then she'll say, how do you feel? And it's like, I can't even remember what we were working on. I can't remember the trauma. And that's how it works. It almost pulls it out of your nervous system, that your psyche, your subconscious, you can't even remember it. And honestly, I woke up today and the things we worked on 5 different things yesterday, which is a lot in one session. And I literally felt nothing. I was thinking about the traumas, and normally it would show up in my reality like jealousy or depending on what I was working on. And the minute I would think of certain people and who I used to be jealous of or feel fearful of, I feel blank. And it's the coolest healing process. So I felt guided to share that with you because somebody out there might be searching for some sort of healing work in your local community, and there are magical humans out there that are willing to help you heal and willing to dive into that subconscious and to your nervous system, because there's only so much you can do with just thinking about things. Your body holds on to the pain and just everything you've been through. Think about it. Your cells hold those memories, and we have to eventually give space to let them release and to come out. And you know, don't get me wrong, for that 30 seconds that she makes me think about the trauma, I am bawling my eyes out. It is not fun and it is painful, and it takes a certain level of concentration to lay there and go into the feeling. I've had to do it with sexual abuse. I've had to do it with physical abuse from my past, the loss of my daughter, the loss of my dad. One of the things we worked on yesterday was the fact that I lost my daughter and my dad, who were they were my people in this lifetime, and they're both gone. And I often cry because I feel so alone without them. And I don't have a family of my own, and I don't have a partner, and I can get really lonely. Um, and I don't want to feel that way anymore because I know I'm not lonely, but it's still the pain. My body feels that pain. So doing these sessions completely helps me relax a little bit more in my day-to-day life. So I highly recommend. And if you don't think that somebody like my mentor is out there for you in whatever state or country that you live in, choose again, because guess what? My best friend Avi, she lives in Germany, and she found somebody who does best where she lives. Remember, it's bioenergetic synchronization technique, so BEST. And if she can find somebody in Germany, then you can find somebody where you are. And my mentor is also about to offer it virtually. So she's going to start doing best virtually. So if any of you guys are interested in it, comment below and let me know if you're interested, and I'll connect you to her. And she's just going to start doing it. So you guys could be guinea pigs and get maybe free treatments. Because that's what happened to me when she first started 5 years ago. I was her guinea pig. All right, your dream job is on the way. It says, keep feeling good. The more you feel good, the quicker it arrives. Get excited. It's almost here. Dolphin, you are a healer. You are here to help the planet. It is crucial for you to be in your joy as often as you can. Your light heals. So I'm assuming that all of you watching are connected to me. So that means you guys are healers too. The work that I do on here and with my readings and with my Reiki sessions, that's healing. And you guys are connected to me. That means you are all healers in some way. So if you're not already doing that work, it's going to be showing up soon in your reality. And this week is saying that maybe the healing that you need to do is going to be opening up these special gifts, because the dolphin is always a representation of you spreading your light and spreading your energy to everybody else. Think about dolphins. They are so playful. They're so beautiful. They're so healing. They're actually great for women who are pregnant. There's some sort of connection there where they help. It's like they in some countries, they are there to guide women through their delivery, and they're in the water with dolphins. It's really wild. I forget what article I read about that, but that was maybe like 2 years ago. I heard about that and I was like, that is so cool. Okay, so lots of healing, dream job coming. You might be a healer. You might be doing healing work. Healing could be as a teacher, as a therapist. It could be a Reiki practitioner, a yoga instructor. So many different ways to heal, okay? And then a miracle is on the way. Open your arms. And the healing that you're doing, the turtle represents you've been slow moving through your life, gathering all this wisdom underneath your shell. And now it is time to pull that wisdom out and to share it with the world. So for all those years that I spent in my loss, grieving, reading self-help books, oh my gosh, I used to wake up at 3:30 in the morning after my daughter passed away. I would go to the gym. I would be nonstop listening to audiobooks. I would be posting on my Snap story and my Insta story, all this motivational stuff. And I was like, get up early, work out hard, kick ass, be amazing at life, be a shark and attack your Monday. Every day my students would come in my classroom and I had motivational stuff on the board. And I wasn't spiritual back then, but I was definitely more of like the self-growth, like, let's get your ass up, let's get you in gear, and let's feel good, because I had gone through the pain and I got myself out of it. And then I wanted to help everybody else through it. So my turtle, everything that's under my shell, was a culmination of all those years of slowly, it was so slow. I felt so lonely most of the time. I was going to the gym at 3:30 in the morning. On weekends, I was going to the gym at 6 a.m. And then I would seclude and just watch YouTube videos and be learning and learning and learning. And now I have all of this information inside of me, and I'm speaking on YouTube without a script, without structure. I just open up the computer and I film. And it's because I did all those years of research and learning and experiences, and now it shaped me for right now. So with you, what have you been through all of that time? What have you been collecting underneath your shell that you can now share in some way? And let's do some charms. Okay. All right, Spirit, what do we need to hear? Got two. We have the cat. I always love the cat. I don't know why I laugh, but he's just chilling. I love his little tail. And then we have the wheel. We're steering the ship. All right, so this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's like everything is clicking into place and now there's going to be movement. Okay, you're going to be steering, and I just heard, don't try to steer your ship. Let the universe do it. Your ego is going to want to grab it and control it. But when everything clicks into place, that wheel is going to turn and you're going to be moving in a new direction. You're going to be finding your soul tribe this week, I just heard. And unfortunately, my my watch just buzzed with somebody from my soul tribe. But the cat is saying you're gonna find your truth. The cats are all about, they're very like straightforward. I'm gonna speak my truth, I'm gonna say it how it is, and I'm gonna move forward. So with the wheel and the cat, that's saying like somebody's gonna be speaking their truth to somebody else and moving away. They're gonna be going towards their soul tribe, the people that they're more connected to, the people that are going to help them heal more. They're going to move out of that stagnant energy where they're not growing anymore. And you know you're in an energy when you're not growing, when you feel like you're not growing and you're repeating the same patterns or you're repeating the same habits and you're just like, oh, I can't grow in this environment. These people are holding me down. And if you're an empath, which most of you probably are, just gotta fix my headband. Hopefully it doesn't look too crazy. I can't see out here. There's so like a glare on the computer. Don't mind me trying to do my hair. But if you're an empath, you can sometimes like become your partner. You can be living with your partner for so long and you become them. So once you pull away and maybe you take a weekend and go to a hotel or a beach house or something, pull your energy away and see if all of a sudden you have this motivation to be different. Maybe you have a motivation to start working out again. And for so long you were with your husband and wife and you just didn't, because you became them. It's like you're a shapeshifter. You're shaping into and molding into whoever you're around. And you have to be sure, you have to make sure to draw boundaries and to not be too much in their own energy. That's why I highly recommend sleeping in separate bedrooms, because it's an opportunity for you to come back to your own energy, to be by yourself in your own space. Okay, let's get some tarot. Let's see what Spirit wants to tell us. I'm using Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. New beginning in love, new relationship. So once you're stepping away from that relationship where you feel like you're submerged into somebody else's energy, poof, a new one's going to show up. And it's gonna, I just heard the person's gonna hold your heart very gently and they're gonna allow you, yes. So they're gonna allow you space to heal and your dream job will be connected to them. So the two of you, your heart, in one of my other decks, I created a little phrase that says your heart beats, when your heart beats with joy, you are a magnet for manifestations. So when your heart is beating with so much love and passion, it exudes all of this light and you tend to draw in more things because you're so magnetic and you're feeling so good about yourself. And a lot of times when we're in love, that's what happens. Our heart is beating out of our chest and we're so happy to finally be in a relationship that heals and grows and expands and it's safe and it's peaceful. That's what's coming for somebody this week. And sometimes I get comments on my channel and people are like, does that mean like, you know, I'm going to have love this week or I'm going to have money this week? And I always say, you know, it's collective. So that message is specific for somebody out there. I don't know who, but we can't get upset if it doesn't happen to us this week. It just means it's not time yet. There's more time. There's more healing to do. So let's get another card. What else about the Ace of Cups, Spirit? Tell us something else. That one jumped. We've been getting this card almost every reading. The Nine of Cups is full blown excitement, celebration, like, oh my gosh, we're getting all of our desires met. Every single cup it's the wish fulfillment card. Every single cup holds some sort of desire that you've had in your life. Maybe you've always wanted a partner who you could meditate with. Maybe you've always wanted a partner who you could like play with your kids with. Maybe your partner right now doesn't really get on the floor and roll around with your kids the way that you do. um, I don't know, those simple small little desires that you've always wished for, you're going to have it. God made somebody so perfect for you that you're going to be in the same room with them and you're just going to look at them and be like, oh my gosh, you are my wish fulfillment. You're everything I've ever wanted. And you're right in front of me. So to get these two back to back, they're both cups. Cups are all about love and joy and happiness and emotions. So somebody is going to be soaring in their emotions this week. And at the bottom of the deck, yes, because you've mastered your emotions. You are the queen. You are literally in the water and you know how to tread water now. You know how to balance the water around you. And this reminds me of when somebody steps into a healing journey, you are telling the universe, I am ready. I want this kind of love and I'm willing to heal and to balance myself and to be open. She is telling the universe, I surrender. I am open to better. I don't want to be in these toxic patterns anymore. I don't want to be stuck being jealous or being fearful that I'm going to lose love. And I'm going to briefly share with you guys real fast what I've been going through. And I shared it on my community page, but in my childhood, it was so toxic. Like looking back, I think the lineage in my mom's side of the family, like all the women, and aside from like a few aunts who don't do this, or which are pretty awesome, and I think they're watching, so high five to my aunts. But like certain women in certain sides of my family, they I can't even talk. And maybe this is a sign I shouldn't share it because it's too personal, but it was just always like a jealousy. It was always a seeing other women as threats and not feeling safe and not wanting their husbands to have friends and not wanting to share their husbands and getting very jealous when their husbands would play with kids, play with their own kids. It was like a toxic, possessive jealousy. Um, there was even situations, I've heard this from another client, where her mom was so toxic and so jealous with her dad that one time she lied. Her husband was on like a trip away with his buddies, and she lied and said that her son got in a car accident or some sort of accident just to make him feel bad because I think he didn't call or check in as often. So she made up this story to make her husband feel so like bad that he's a bad father, that he wasn't there for his son who got in an accident. And then she's like, well, she corrected herself on the phone after he was like, wait, what? He's in an accident? And she goes, no, I mean, he almost got in an accident. So she was creating this story to hurt her husband because she wasn't feeling loved, because she couldn't handle him breaking away from the pack and going enjoying himself. And I find that I obviously don't do that, but I get jealous. I feel like if my person pulls away from me, I'm going to lose them and they're going to find somebody better and I'm not worthy and I'm not memorable, and they're going to forget all about me and they're just going to go with the wind, and the next cute girl in a dress that walks by, they're just going to go with her. And I have those thoughts, and my conscious self sees it and goes, that's silly, Michelle, you're amazing, you're without your body and whatever, your heart is what people love, and everybody else's hearts are what I love about them, not their bodies or what they look like. Or so it's this toxic ancestral, it's in my DNA. Like I can't control it. I don't know why I'm thinking those thoughts. It's because I witnessed it in childhood. My mom probably witnessed it in her childhood. I don't know what my grandmother was like. In regards to that, I've never heard stories, but it is so deep inside of me that I have to heal this. And I went to a session yesterday to heal it. And this was me. I was like, universe, take this from me. I don't want to be single forever. I want a partner, and I want to be able to trust my partner, and I want to be able to trust myself, that I'm not going to go into that wounded Michelle and make my partner feel bad about living life and having fun. I consciously say, yeah, I want my partner to be out there in the world and I want everyone to love him. But but does my wounded Michelle, can she step out of the way for a moment and allow that to happen without feeling like she's losing something? That's the key of what I'm trying to heal right now. And I always knew it was inside of me, but it came up a lot this week. So I'm just kind of dealing with that and giving myself time to sleep and rest. And it's just wild what we carry in our bodies that we're not even conscious of. Like me witnessing that over and over in my childhood, of my mom maybe just not trusting my dad, or my dad being secretive because maybe he just didn't want to share where he was, which he was probably just at work the whole time because he was such a good, gentle soul like that. He would never really do those things. But my mom would create a story in her head that he was doing those things, and I was there listening. I was a little kid absorbing, now thinking that, oh, when a man is not home, that means he must be doing something out of character or wrong. So I'm trying to pull that root out of me so that I don't feel that way. And if you're a man listening, I'm sorry if you had or if you're a woman listening, if anybody has had a partner where they treated you that way and they felt like they wanted to control you and they were jealous all the time, please have compassion for them, because maybe they're like me and maybe they watched that through childhood and they don't know how to deal with it. Maybe they're not on a healing journey. Maybe they don't know how to take that out of their nervous system. It's in their DNA. And sometimes it's hard to work with somebody and to be in partnership with somebody who's not willing to do the work. And I only want to be with somebody who is willing. I was talking about that with my mentor yesterday. We were making my list of my dream man, and I was just adding all of these beautiful things that I'd never added before. And one of the big ones was willing to have tough conversations and to do the work. So meaning, like, if we sit down and we say, I've been acting this way or you've been acting that way, and let's both work on it. And then if I go and I change my behavior, and if he doesn't, and if he's still acting out the same patterns, I can't do that. I would have to leave that partnership because that's not helping me grow. That's keeping me stuck because I'm growing and he's not. So that's just something that I feel like we all need to have on our dream person list or a healthy conscious partnership list, is somebody that's willing to do the work for themselves and for the partnership. They're not willing to do it for me. They want to do it for themselves, for their own growth, and they want to do it for the partnership so that we can be together and create a wonderful life together, doing the work together. Okay. I got a new deck recently. It's Abraham Hicks's deck. So we're going to take a card from that. It's all about manifestation and co-creation. Beautiful, darling, beautiful. Appreciation and love are identical vibrations. It says appreciation and love are identical vibrations. Appreciation is the vibration of alignment with who you are. Appreciation is the absence of everything that feels bad and the presence of everything that feels good. When you focus upon what you want, when you tell the story of how you want your life to be, you will come closer and closer to the vicinity of appreciation. And when you reach it, it will pull you toward all things that you consider to be good in a very powerful way. And look what's on the top of this card. A heart. And I didn't notice it here too. I love that. And the two hands, it almost reminds me of this. Very similar, right? Two hands holding the heart in the center. Thank you, guys. I love that. Appreciation and love, identical. So it's talking about calling in what you want. When you focus upon what you want, when you tell the story of how you want your life to be. So I was making that list yesterday to say, I want my life, I want my partner to be this way, I want my relationship to be this way. I'm going to call it in a lot faster, and everything that's not a match to that will literally move away from me. And a fun fact, when you do your healing and when you do work on your nervous system, guess what happens? The characters in your movie who have been helping you grow, and when you level up, they completely fall away. Like, you might, I don't know, you might be working with somebody, all of a sudden they get moved to another office. You might be friends with somebody and all of a sudden they just stop texting you. It's because you're on a different level now. They served a purpose in your life to teach you those lessons. And once you healed it and you pulled the root out of that jealousy or that competition, there's a lot of women who fight with competition, who battle it internally with other women. because they don't feel worthy or they feel like they have to compete for love like they did in childhood. I can feel the pollen sitting in my throat. But once you pull the root out of your nervous system, guess what? That person who's been triggering you, you're not magnetizing them anymore because you're not filled with jealousy anymore. You're not filled with competition. You've released it. So then that character falls away. They completely get moved to a different job or you get moved from your environment. It's so cool to see how when you see people falling away in your life, that's because you've done something to level yourself up. So never forget that. So don't grip on to certain people staying because sometimes they're not meant to stay. Okay, we're going to use another new deck. Not new, but I don't really use it in a lot of my readings. It's Tosha Silver's The Wild Offering Oracle. Okay, this is all about your body. Show me, divine, how to love and fully care for this body. Please give me the radiant miracle of accepting my body as it is. So another thing that people do when they compete and they compare is they feel like they need to get their body to look a certain way to be loved. And I know a lot of human beings go through this, but the coolest part is most people who are on a spiritual journey, it starts in your body. They start to get really obsessed with fitness. They're starting to awaken and they want to feel good in their body. They want to feel light and they don't understand why. And it's because your soul wants to expand. And when your body is tight and it has inflammation and it has chemicals in it, or maybe all of a sudden you can't eat chicken anymore and you can't eat eggs because it just completely grosses you out, or maybe your body physically responds in a certain way and you're being guided to go vegan or vegetarian for a while, just honor that. It's not forever, it's temporary, okay? But your body is what is going through the healing. Your cells, your body holds more than your mind holds. So we're not even conscious of half the things that we are going through because the body holds it. Our mind doesn't hold it, the body does. And that's why sometimes you might be finding yourself, I just heard that somebody's going to be finding themselves crying out of nowhere at their kitchen sink while they're doing the dishes. And they're like, why am I crying right now? That's because your body's saying, okay, she's still enough or he's still enough right now. We're going to allow space for this pain to come through. And that happens often when you're driving, when you're in the shower. Don't question why you are crying. Just know that there's probably some trauma, maybe when you were 10 years old, 17 years old, 30 years old, and it's time to let it out. And you're safe right now doing whatever you're doing, and you're allowed to cry it out. And your body will do that for you. So please be gentle with it. I also just heard, please rest as much as you can when you're going through this healing. Sleep as much as you can, take off from work, go lay out by a pool, go lay out at a park or something. I went and ate at a park this week. I did lunch. I went and got my favorite lunch and I went and sat at the park and sat in the grass. And it was just so lovely just to like be alone and be in nature and enjoy a meal. And I just was like, you know what, if I die tomorrow, this just feels so nice. So be sure to give your body that gift of going to different environments and just feeling the sun on your skin, eating the food you love, because maybe you've worked, maybe you went to school for however many years and then you jumped right into a 9-to-5 job and you've never let your nervous system rest, or you never let yourself just do whatever the heck you want to do. So give yourself that time and space to do it. Okay, we're going to get some animal cards now. Okay, this one kind of popped up, so we're going to take this one. This is my spirit animal for this whole year. It's the nightingale. This is all about writing, composing, creating, speaking, singing. What do you have inside of you that needs to come out? This is like the turtle card. It's everything inside of you has been dying to come out, and now it's finally time to sing. You are sharing your gifts with the world. I'm going to do another animal deck. Woo! We got 3. We have the wasp, the koi, and the moth. The wasp says, sometimes life stings. So these are all those traumas. These are all those healing moments where even, me talking about the jealousy and feeling competition and like thinking about my mom and how she never trusted my dad. I have to now deal with that because that's in my system now, and it stings and it hurts, and I don't want to be trapped in this prison of my mind thinking that every man will do this to me, because that's what my subconscious tells me. But until yesterday, we pulled the root out, and now I don't have to worry about it. And you can pull out these parts of you that, like, think about like a stinger, like when a bee or wasp stings you, that stinger is still inside of you, that trauma. And you just have to find a way to pull that thing out, get to the root, and be free from it. Thank you, Spirit. That was a really good analogy. And it's number 64, which adds up to 10, which is a completion energy. So you're pulling out the root, you're pulling out the stinger, and you're saying, I'm freaking done with this pattern. I'm going to trust my partner, and I'm going to tell them that, yes, I had this trauma, but please work with me. Please do things. Here's what you can do to help me cope as I heal in this partnership. So they might need to check in with you. You might need to say, like, hey, like, there's this beautiful woman over there, but I only see you and I love you. Like, having those soft confirmations are going to help you heal. And we have the koi fish, 36. There is always enough. So this is an abundance card. So when we get an abundance card, it's all about like you feeling lack in life, you feeling like there's not enough, and you feel like you can't leave your job because you need the money to pay your rent. But the universe is saying you can take that leap, you can quit, you can move on. There's always enough. There's literally, if you look back at your life, you've always had everything you needed. And if you didn't, it's probably because you didn't believe in it back then. So sometimes we go through these tough experiences, like you go through, being homeless or being abandoned or having to leave a narcissist and having to start all over again. And it feels like life stings. You might be having surgery on your body. You're like, why do all these bad things keep happening to me? Well, life will sting you until you wake up to trust it, to start practicing your spiritual practices, to start meditating, to start becoming aware of who you are and why you're here. And once you're awake, then this happens. Then you're always taken care of. So if you're on my channel, you're already awake. And the part where life was stinging you in the past, that's over with. You don't have to worry about that repeating itself. It only repeats if you need to if you need to keep waking up even more. And I often have people in my reality who they constantly are dealing with upheaval in their life, and I just have to watch it because it sucks. I have to watch them suffer because they're not understanding that the universe is trying to wake them up to have faith in it and to start believing in themselves and to start shifting their thinking into what's possible instead of replaying the old story. And a lot of times we do get stuck in an old story in our head and we think that life will always be this way. And again, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, because that could be a stinger that is stuck in them. Maybe they grew up hearing from parents that life just never works out and they're always going to be in lack. Sorry, motorcycle or something just went by on the highway. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it was super loud. But if you grew up in a house where there was always lack and people were always talking about not having enough, or, oh my gosh, we're not going to have enough to pay rent, and now that stinger is still inside of you, and that person who you're observing, they keep having financial issues, it's because they haven't fully seen where it's coming from. They don't know that it's from childhood, and they just keep repeating the pattern. And it's not your job to teach them, but maybe you could show by example. But you, on my channel, you're already abundant. You already know the universe loves you. You're here to manifest. You're here to co-create, and you know that there's always enough. And there's always some fine tweaking. You're going to go through phases where you're going to have so much faith and you're going to feel so good about the universe. And then other times you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to have enough money for this. And then all of a sudden the universe swoops in and brings you exactly what you need when you need it. So it's all a game of learning and learning and learning. And the more we have faith and the more we let go and let the universe bring it to us, that's when we can really fall into this faith. Because then in the future, you're not going to worry about losing something or not having enough money, because you're going to be like, oh, I remember when the universe took care of me before. Just going to redo my hair real fast. The other card we got is the moth card. The moth is all about, being attracted to, like, the moth to the flame. It's like, holy cow, I met this person and I just want to spend every single minute with them. They're so amazing. They're so sweet. And you just can't get enough of them. And it's a kind of partnership where the more you're with them, the more you grow and the more you heal. And if you can see, it's all red. Red always represents passion and fiery energy. And it's like, you could be both fire signs. and it's number 39, which adds up to 12. So I don't know if 12 is a certain number that rings a bell for any of you, but a moth to a flame, you're going to be drawn. It's kind of like the heart beating again. I just keep coming back to this card. Remember we talked about when your heart beats with joy and you're like this magnet for good? That's that. You become a magnet. You become a moth to a flame. You're just drawing in all this good stuff that makes you feel so good in your life. But it's because you did the work to heal your heart and your nervous system. So if you're on my channel and you have not done any kind of work to heal and to unpack why you're doing what you're doing, and you're only looking at other people and blaming them, that's not forgiveness and that's not compassion. You are searching endlessly outside of yourself to tell everybody else how to heal, but you're not doing the work on you. And when you finally do the work on you and you pull back your tentacles, as I like to say, pull back those tentacles, don't focus on anybody else. You nurture yourself, you lay by the pool, you heal, you rest, you reach out to a healer, you book a session with me. I can absolutely help you one-on-one on Zoom. We don't need to be in person with each other to do this kind of work. People leave sessions with me and they feel different. Their nervous system is different. We pull things out. Okay, there's certain levels that you can start at. You don't have to go to like the full-blown deep nervous system work that I'm doing. You can start with a reading. You can start with a session with a healer. Just the energy exchange alone can be very, very softening for your nervous system. But when your heart beats with joy and when you're healing and you're calming your body from all the pain and suffering that you've been through your whole life, you really become that moth to the flame. You start to pull in everyone good, and everything that's not good for you goes away. Okay, I just got a message to pull a page from one of my favorite books. We're going to end this reading with a page pull. Oh, no. Quick little message, Hidden Truth Oracle. I just heard 2 cards from here. So if you're in, this is for somebody specific out there, if you're in separation from your person, let's get a message to see what your person wants to say to you. I know I messed everything up. They are so sorry. But again, it's the stinger inside of them. They don't even know that they're doing it. So please have compassion for them and forgive them. If they come back and they're willing to do the work with you, forgive them. I wish I had treated you better. And again, same thing. We all treat people certain ways depending on how evolved we are. If we're struggling and we're in our own trauma and we're in our own pain and we're in our own suffering and we sabotage things or we hurt people, it's because we have stingers all over us and we don't know how to behave and we need help. We need to heal so that we can treat people better. So if somebody has mistreated you, they are saying they're sorry and they are apart from you right now because they're needing to heal and they're trying to become that moth to a flame. They're trying to get magnetic again, but they want to be the right kind of magnet. They want to be healthy for you. They want to be grounded. They want to spend every single minute with you, but they want to make sure they're right before they do that. Okay. And then we have page pull. Every hand that touches me is a healing hand. It says, I am a precious being and loved by the universe. As I increase the love I have for myself, so too does the universe mirror this, increasing love ever more abundantly. I know that the universal power is everywhere, in every person, place, and thing. This loving, healing power flows through the medical profession and is in every hand that touches my body. I attract only highly evolved individuals. Did I not say that earlier? On my healing pathway. My presence helps to bring out the spiritual healing qualities in each practitioner. Doctors and nurses are amazed at their abilities to work as a healing team with me. We need to do more than just treat the symptom. We need to eliminate the cause of the dis-ease. We need to go within ourselves where the process of illness begins. That's exactly what we just talked about this entire reading. We need to go within ourselves where the process of illness began. So like the beginning of your illness is the trauma. It's all these stingers that are stuck inside of you and they can cause cancer. Trauma literally causes cancer. It's a buildup of energy in your DNA, in your cells, from all the pain that you've been through your whole life. You hold certain areas of your body hold more energy. And when you don't release that, and when you don't cry, and when you don't allow your space to sleep, allow yourself to sleep and to rest, that energy builds and builds and builds, and your body can't handle it anymore. And you start to get ailments. You start to have things happen to you. You know, a lot of people will have certain organs removed, like might have, I don't know, have to get their gallbladder removed or something. I've just read that it's not even normal to have that removed. Like, we need every organ in our body. We're not meant to not have certain organs. Like, if we weren't meant to have it, then God wouldn't have made us with it. So we're starting to learn all these things about the healthcare system and how they have been, you know, they don't know everything we thought that they knew. It's not always accurate. And the healing really begins when we get to the root of why the energy was built up in that area in the first place, and not just putting a medicine in our body to cover up the symptom. So healing work on the nervous system is the answer. So when you do this kind of work, the actual physical ailment in your body starts to go away and dissipate because you got to the root. So don't be afraid. If you're struggling with something physically right now, ask yourself, where is it at in my body? Go look it up and say, like, what does this area mean spiritually? If you buy Louise Hay's book called Heal Your Body, you're going to see the correlation between the area of the body and what's happening to you emotionally. Just to give you a quick little educational snippet here with the chakra systems, depending on where you hold energy. So, like, for example, my dad, he passed away from lung cancer, right? The lungs are located near the heart chakra. Okay. To me, that means he had a buildup from a broken heart. He had energy building up around his lungs, taking away his breath because he didn't feel love in his life. He didn't feel it to the capacity that he needed to, but he wasn't aware of how to fix that. He was not spiritually awakened. He was not willing to do the work. And yes, he was a smoker, so that was an added stressor to his life. But he lived a very stressful life and he never released anything. So it was built up of a lack of love. His marriage wasn't the best with my mom. I don't even know if they kissed each other in the last like 15 years. Like, think about that lack of energy, that lack of love that builds in your chest. Somebody who might have some sort of cancer or an illness up in your upper belly, that usually signifies your power center. That's your solar plexus. It's your willpower, your ability to stand up for yourself. So somebody who is not good with speaking their truth and standing up for themselves, and knowing that they're allowed to hold space in a room and they're allowed to take up space in your life. Think about somebody who has crunched over shoulders and they're just scared to be in the world, and they're scared to, like, oh, I don't want to bother you, and I didn't want to text you because I didn't want to bother you, like that kind of energy. They're going to have a buildup of some sort of illness, maybe around their solar plexus, because that's their willpower. If you're not strong in that area, your body's going to tell you. Your reproductive area, that's your creative center. So if you're dealing with some sort of reproductive issues, it might mean you have zero creativity in your life. You're not expressing yourself. You're not writing, you're not composing, you're not being the nightingale. You're not sharing your gifts with the world, and that can show up with reproductive issues. So each area, each chakra in the body holds a certain meaning. And if you have an ailment, you can thank your body for showing you what would light you up in life. Right? So if you're somebody who's dealing with reproductive stuff, you can thank the universe for showing you that, because now you know, I need to do more things that bring me joy. I need to get out there and start creating something. What did I like to do as a kid? Oh my God, I love to paint. Let me just start there. Let me just start painting every single day, put on my favorite music, get my favorite drink, my favorite food, and let me just have fun doing that. And a lot of times that little shift completely heals the ailment, and then you're living a happier life and you have your body to thank for it. So don't see an illness as a negative thing. See it as a beacon. Your body's saying, hey, pay attention to me over here. And then go look it up and figure out what it is that's causing it, or book a session with me and I'll be able to tell you. And I can even get messages from your angels and your guides to tell you what to do to fix it. And then you can heal it and move on and live a happier life. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I love this one. This one was a little bit different than our normal weekly readings. But remember, the wheel is turning, and the wish fulfillment card. Two powerful messages. And it's because you're doing your healing. Everything's clicking into place. All right, lovies, I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be back. I didn't do a midweek reading last week, but I'm going to do one this week. So I can't wait to see you then. All right, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.